Hello, everybody, and welcome to Show Me Your Rack, where Lace and I have our wonderful guests, the Herpin Harbins.
Yay. Thank you, guys. He's got a nice one.
Look at that. Yeah, look at that.
Solid.
You're the first ones to actually show us a rack. Look at that.
I get groped a lot.
This is going to be a good episode.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. Can you introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about you?
Who we are?
We're Josh and Alisha Harbin. We live up near Knoxville, Tennessee. We've had snakes as pets pretty much our entire lives, but about 6 years ago, we got into breeding them and keeping them, doing the snake show thing. So it's been about 2-3 years ago, we've really tried to make a push to figure out this online stuff. As you can see by the highlighted, I've got some gray hair going on. So we were pre-internet babies, and so we're having to learn a lot of this stuff, and we want to get better at it. So this is fantastic practice. Thank you for giving us this opportunity.
We appreciate it. Yeah, we started in hognose 6 years ago, but then we did get into ball pythons about 3 years ago, and then Josh lost his dad back in July, Tom Harbin, and now we oversee his collection. We don't own it. His mother still owns it, but we manage it for her. And it's a huge task because he had a huge collection, and he apparently paired every freaking ball python he had. And there's 32 clutches, which I think we'd had 7 or 8 total ball python clutches in the 3 years that we had started. So to go from that to that has been a little bit extreme, and we're traveling to Montgomery, Alabama every weekend to take care of that part of the collection. I wish we had some adults to show y'all, but what we did in the transition period is we moved most of our adults down there that were out of reproductive cycle, and we moved all the babies up here because they need more frequent care. Plus, us going to all the shows, we wanted to have them here with us.
Basically, all the urgent care animals are in Tennessee, and all
babies.
the old timers are down in Alabama.
And we cleaned out our master bedroom a few weeks ago and put a rack up because we're going to move probably about 10 females and some of the higher end breeding males up here to start pairing since it's happening. They're going to do what they're going to do. We better get on board with it. And but we don't want to end up having to move them in the middle of next year because we are in the process of building a facility now, which is
we took the permit applications to the county on Monday.
So awesome.
You wouldn't think it costs money to turn in paper. I mean, all their lives have been turning in homework.
I got to pay people to look over our stuff,
but driving back and forth to Alabama is unsustainable. And Mom is a fantastic rodent keeper. I mean, the rodents down there, they've got a rodent colony, we've got a rodent colony, and theirs are just booming. So that's really the limiting factor of why we haven't moved everything up to Tennessee. We could cram all the snakes in the house.
Somewhere in the house.
Somewhere in the tub. I mean, literally, they're everywhere in the house. Like, there's quarantine in my sewing area. There's my old man. I've got a 29-year-old corn snake that's in our bedroom. We've got a 3070 we're getting ready to fill up in the master bedroom that we don't stay in now. We cleaned it out. We're in the guest bedroom. And I think the kitchen's the only room that doesn't have snakes in it,
but it's piled up with other junk. I mean, there's
frozen things in the freezer.
Yeah, there's tubs in there. So our house is just covered and scattered right now with critters. And getting the building will really help us a lot. So I guess the other big thing with us right now, we are 15 Minutes of Lane contestants. And we are having a blast. I tell you, if you ever get invited on, and you got to do it, just the experience of it all. And we're getting to know some of these guys that we're contestants with. And you hear all that for years, like, oh, they make such a big bonds and stuff. We're like, they're just full of crap. And no,
really
it's happening. Yeah. We really are making bonds with these people, and we're learning about marketing, which we both are pretty pathetic at. And
we always just were like, we'll learn that later. We'll work on that down the road. But this gave us a deadline, and we're both dorks, and so we need like deadlines. We got to know we have a target and a calendar date. So now,
and I'm pretty competitive, and
she's lying. She is extremely competitive.
And so like at first I was like, oh yeah, we're in the contest, blah. And now I'm like, oh my God, we've got to win. I've kind of gone psycho with it. And I'm like, we're going to make a hard push to do everything that we can, but we've had so many people support us and come out and kind of back us, especially this last week. And I looked at Josh the other day. I said, we've already won. I don't care what anybody else says. Like, just having all our friends behind us and supporting us, it's a win in its own. So, I mean, we want the belt, but I feel like we've won just with all the backing. So
we've got big shoes to fill. Dad was awesome. He loved everyone he ever met.
Yeah.
He loved propagating or being an advocate for reptile husbandry and keeping.
Mm-hmm.
He was a veterinarian, so he was really good at talking to people. So she is an expert at talking to people too. She's a veterinarian also. Her and Dad actually worked together for a year.
Yeah, my first year out of veterinary school, I worked with him, and I worked for his mother then, and now I work for his mother again. Love her, but holy crap, like crack the whip kind of thing. And so I learned pretty early on, like, how to just get it done. And
she's a farm girl. They grew up on a giant dairy farm down there, and so every day is like wake up, go to work,
and that's
work till you pass out.
And but it is kind of funny how it went full circle like that. First Full Circle is the name of their goat farm that I'm also now helping with. It's like we were deworming goats this last weekend. I'm like, when did I sign up for this crap?
We've learned to ask Mom on the way down, like, hey, what's on the goat list? Because she'll try to sneak it in Sunday when we're like loading up the car. It's like, hey, can y'all real quick? Like, Mom, let's do this.
It was back in the middle of summer. It's 95 degrees out because it's Southern Alabama. And we're literally loading our crap up to leave, sweating our butts off. And she's like, hey, there's this goat out in the woods and it's lame. I'm like, well, it's just going to stay in the woods lame because I ain't doing that right now. Why didn't you bring it in when you brought it in this morning with the grain? And she just, I don't know. No, goat time is 8:00 in the morning before it's 9,000 degrees in Southern Alabama. So that's been another adventure in its own. So
you guys, I'll never complain again. I'll never complain again, ever. Y'all have got your hands full. And I absolutely think that y'all are doing incredible in the contest. I have been loving the videos. I think y'all are doing wonderful. And just like you said, I think that you've already won. But my favorite part of this whole thing is just continuing on your family's legacy. I think that's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
I'll show you. I don't know if you can see the back of the shirt, but
we got this shirt made. So it says caretakers of Tom Harbin reptiles. So we had that made before we went to Tinley. So it still has our logo on the front and then his logo on the back. And so it, kind of meshing it together.
Everybody keeps asking us what it's like to inherit a bunch of snakes. We didn't inherit anything. Mom just reinstated the child labor laws and made me come back down to the farm and get back to work. So, but it is such an honor every time we go down there to open the tubs and just look at his animals and what he has created.
Stuff. And luckily, we did share a lot of projects with him. There's some paths that we did separate. But Hognose, we were very much aligned because he's the one that got me even worse than you, kind of nuts with it. And then a lot of the ball python stuff, we kind of crossed paths too. And so the collections are going to eventually blend pretty easily. And we already have plans with some of his higher end stuff, and some of our higher end stuff is actually going to go better together than with staying within its own collection. And so there's already some crossover that we're probably going to do, although we're going to keep some of his true plans. Like there's certain things he wanted to hit with his Monarch project.
And y'all probably know too, the longer you stay in this hobby, your projects aren't just a 2 or 3 year thing. They're a 7 to 10 year thing. So
very long.
Luckily he did give us a lot of his blueprints of, things he wanted to hit. So we've got targets to hit.
Yeah.
And it's honestly stuff we want to hit too. When he mentioned it, we're like, I want to see that.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny because when he talked about certain things, when we decided to invest a little bit into the ball pythons, I'm like, okay, he's already got this route. I'm going to go over here. Let's look at this route so that eventually we can smear stuff together. It just happened a little faster than what we wanted it to and differently. But at least we did have two paths that were kind of running next to each other to kind of blend. And so that's cool that we were already thinking that way. And the hogs, like I said, are even easier because we have been planning that for 6 years now together. And
I remember Alisha was on the front porch on her phone, and she'd been quiet for a long time. It's like when, little kids, you haven't heard of them in a while or heard from them in a while, they're up to something. So I go out the porch. She says, "Hey, we need to talk." I'm like, "What's up, babe?" She goes, "There's 2 snakes we need to buy." And I'm like, "Okay, show them to me." And we didn't have really any breeding pairs at this point. We had like a lot of, pets. And it was our first 2 hognose pair. And there was a couple of Axanthics that we bought. And they were like 2 years old at that point. So they were ready to go.
They were 3 years old, and they had just had a clutch. It was during COVID had just happened. We'd had several of our snakes already that were growing up, and we hadn't bought adult pairs at that point. And I was like, this guy was getting out of the hogs because he was a pulmonary therapist going into COVID outreach type stuff. And so he's like, I've got to let these go to someplace. And he's in California. He's like, well, actually, I just got an offer for cash locally. I said, I will send you this much more if you will send me these snakes, and they will stay with me forever until they die. And I'm a veterinarian. Please send them to me. And he did. Yeah, he did.
She came in hot.
Extra hot. I was like, I'm gonna send you extra money. We need these snakes, and they have been our power duo for years now. And good
luck finding healthy adult hogs at a show.
You're never gonna
you don't see them.
Sick, or they've got mites
if they're healthy, people have them at home. They're breeding them.
Yeah. And so and they don't breed like a ball python. Ball pythons you technically breed for many years, couple decades even. A hognose, by the time these females are about 9 or so, they're probably about done. So that girl for us, it may be her last breeding year. Yeah. And I kind of debated, do I breed her again this year? Because her daughters are ready at this point. But she's otherwise healthy, so I'll probably will pair her one more time. But then next year she'll be retired.
She's a tank.
Oh yeah, she tried to eat my hand off one time.
Like 3 weeks after laying eggs, you give her like 2 or 3 mice, and she looks normal, healthy,
just back to normal.
Didn't miss a lick.
Perfect. Well, they eat while they're laying eggs too. I mean, you got to feed them, or they'll eat their eggs. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a whole different world with the hogs.
Oh my!
That is.
What we can do, because, like I said, all the adults primarily are in Alabama. Well, the ball pythons. We'll start with the ball pythons. We'll show you some of our stuff that we have, and I guess we can just start kind of pulling stuff out.
All right. You'll grab the first one.
Yeah, actually, grab the dreamsicle. So dreamsicle was actually the one that's tagged on it right there. Watch it, I'll bite you.
How many ball versus what's your total count between your hognose and your ball pythons, roughly?
So between the 2 collections, there's right around 820 animals, and at this point they're almost split down the middle because we have a lot of hognose. We had 160 babies this year. But then Tom had a lot of baby ball pythons this year with his 32 freaking clutches. And so when we really look at it, we are split kind of down the middle, probably around 400 hogs and 400 balls between. And then there's some corn. So we've got 40 corns. I wouldn't even count that. It's pretty bad.
They're beautiful. They're beautiful corns. They're just corns.
Well, they're so easy, and they just don't really do anything, and we don't think about it. He only had 1 breeding pair left, and we have, I guess, 10 adults. So I don't know. It's really 2 boys and a bunch of girls. And then we still got babies from last year that are growing up, but that's not our primary thing. But this is what got us into ball pythons, is the dreamsicle. And we obviously like orange and white, as you can tell. And so this is where we kind of went heavy with some of our actual investments. Josh, over there, if you want to grab out to the top right there. Yeah, Brew.
Oh yeah.
He's a blackhead, yellow belly, lavender albino het pied, and he's from Canova. He's going to be probably ready to go here next year. Really cool snake. We want to get that black head into it. Look at that big orange dot. We do have a female that goes directly with him that is actually a blackhead pied het lavender albino, but she's still growing up. But we'll go ahead and put him to some of our dreamsicles.
He's named
next
after
year.
Brew McCoy, wide receiver for the University of Tennessee Volunteers.
we like
For those
orange and
keeping
white.
tabs.
But
Love that.
down next to him is we've started pairing some of the dreamsicle girls to go up to the right, very right. Yeah, that one. Some of the dreamsicle girls to some of the more powerful clown boys, because we really want Holy Grail eventually. And so we've got this girl that is a spot nose. Make sure I get her all right. Spot nose, OD, yellow belly, Leo, triple het, Holy Grail. So we're trying to get some boys out of some of the stuff that has like cypress in it. Wookie, that's kind of what we want to blend back into this. And so that's what's going to our Dreamsicle girls right now, is like the Wookie cypress combos. And so then we'll put that back into her. Now it's going to be a long shot dealing with triple het to triple het, but eventually we'll get something, you know. And then I haven't seen a Grail male that I just have to have, because that's the only other thing I would do is just go buy a Grail boy that's het pied that had a bunch of stuff in it. But we do want like cypress, Wookie, all that kind of other darkening gene stuff in there. So that's kind of like a project that Josh and I have been working on for a little while. Of course, maybe one of our biggest focuses. The other thing that we are starting to blend into stuff is we like hypo, and we love DG too. Don't get me wrong, Josh is like the DG nut, but I love hypo. This is a inchy hypo pied that we're going to probably start blending into some of the puzzle stuff that we have. But his oranges, and there's even green tones coming out in him, these like purples and stuff. I don't know. We both like hypo a lot, and that's kind of, we just ended up getting, they're literally came in today, so they're up front in quarantine, but they're pastel inchy hypo het sunset. So we're going to put that into sunset. And the other thing that we have down at the farm is we have sunset that we're blending into monarch too. So we're kind of going that direction. There's this one back.
That's just exciting.
It's going to be
so
crazy.
bright. That is so bright.
Josh, let me see.
Sorry.
And to think that snake was that bright and that's on camera, so you know it looks even better.
And he's getting, I mean, I guess he's probably maybe around 600 grams now. I mean, he's just getting better with age. And I think, you know, what we've noticed with some of the hypo stuff that we have is it just gets prettier. And we do, Josh, like if you take Josh into a collection, and he points at it, it's probably going to be DG something, like inevitably. And so there's that pastel pen. This is one of the ones that we produced this last year, I guess, out of a female that, of course, she's down at the farm. She's a pastel super inchy DG, but I don't know. You can't even really see the creaminess of her, but she looks like candy in person, but she's an inchy pinstripe OD DG. I haven't decided yet. Like, I've had her for sale, but people have offered a little bit lower than what I want to give her up for. So I'm like, you know what? She may just end up going back into another project because we're wanting to get DG into Monarch too, because it is a beautiful combination. So she may end up just going back like to Monarch G Stripe or something like that at some point. Then that one below.
I'm looking at her right now, and I say that's a holdback.
Yeah, I think she is, because we've got a couple other girls that I like. Shed. Yeah, he just shed. So, or she just shed. So this is a yellow belly DG Krypton, and we love puzzles, so we love Krypton too. Really, really pretty coloration, and one of these is going to stay with it. There's one for sale, and one is staying with us. Because we do like Krypton. That's one of the things that we also produced this year. This is one of Tom's. You know, we want to start putting like asphalt and gravel into this combo also. So we already have the Krypton DG yellow belly to work with. Now we've just got to find the right boy to put with her. We're probably going to have to go out and buy something because we do not have enough gravel and asphalt in our collection. And right now, the stuff that's gravel and asphalt are going to the Monarch project. So it's like they're already kind of designated.
They're allocated.
So that's that one. And then let's see, Josh, there is that bottom right cage. It should say Enhancer G-Stripe.
Yep.
And so the other thing is we have Enhancer too. Well, Tom has Enhancer. We had DG and he had a lot of Enhancer. And as adults, I do see a difference. Like, I feel like some of the DGs get a little bit of a grayish tone where the Enhancers kind of stay more like pop. So that's an Enhancer G-Stripe Het Clown. Here is an Enhancer Clown Het G-Stripe. Now, get that boy right there in the center.
Follow instructions, Josh.
Yeah.
He's pretty good at it most of the time.
Did you see the video where she had the whip?
Yes.
I missed that one. I'm gonna go back and see
That one,
that
I think we just released it yesterday.
Like her granny voice came out in that video. It scared me a little bit.
So this is Enhancer G-Stripe Clown.
Oh my.
He is absolutely boy. I tell you, there's been a few that I've popped this year, and I was like, I'm so happy to see those penises.
Is there
like,
a head stamp like at all? It just
no. Let me see if I can get him to turn around. No, he's blanked out.
Oh, I love. That's awesome.
It is kind of funny when you hear your wife go, penis, yes.
But when I was so excited when I was like, oh my God, he was the only one in the clutch. Everything else was either like Enhancer G-Stripe or Enhancer Clown or some kind of combination like that. But when I saw him, like I grabbed him first and I was like, oh my God, yes, it's a boy. He's staying, because Kiki or G-Stripe Clown is a project that Tom was working on, but ones that we've been working on too. And so we've actually bred a few things, preparing for DG Clown combinations in the future. And now to have Enhancer in it is just like, holy cow, this is absolutely perfect. I think I've got.
I love that.
That's an amazing animal.
He's a pretty little guy, and
He is. Yes.
there is show him that one right there is a pewter. That's one of the double het girls that we made. She'll get you. Watch out.
Yep.
I like to tell them when. I sometimes warn them, and sometimes I don't. I've seen him get bit a few times when I didn't wear it.
She knew it was coming. She did you. She did you wrong,
clean up now. I know she's not probably the most exciting thing, but she is she's pewter, double het, G-Stripe Clown. So I can't wait to see like what she does when G-Stripe Clown gets on her. So she'll probably go to that boy over there. And I think that can make some pretty cool looking stuff. Let me see where I'm at on here. I've got a little list.
Got a roadmap.
Yeah, she's got fire, but that's right. She's got fire or vanilla in her too. I haven't sent the test off for, I think they can test for fire now. I don't know. I'll wait and get her tested to see if she's fire or vanilla. Let me see.
Clown stuff.
Yeah, the banana inchy stuff.
Yeah.
We made a banana inchy clown.
Hang on,
Krypton.
I got to brag. I got to brag about my little invention. We made partitions. So I 3D printed little doors, and then I laser cut out the divider so I can cram two animals in one tub.
Yeah.
I am sick and tired of your inventions, my friend.
Oh yeah, she's got a couple of your
Oh, the clamps, yeah.
Which one is this here?
He probably doesn't remember me. I was the one like double fisting beers, but I loaded up on these. Nikki, I'll probably send you some. I bought extra. I bought a ton. Like I bought like 10 of them. I've got 4 racks. I bought 10 of these bad boys because just absolutely genius. These have absolutely changed my life.
So I took all the duds, like all the misprints or the errors, whatever, to work, and I give them out to people, and we put them on our cubicles, like to hold all of our papers in place. And so there's little probe clamps all over Oak Ridge National Labs.
Oh man, I love them.
We've got a banana inchy clown, which I know is not super exciting, but
it is.
I want to kind of show that.
Aww,
that's one of my favorites. And then right next to her,
just about everybody loves a banana.
Oh.
Yeah, who doesn't love a banana? And if you say you don't, you're lying.
Right.
Leopard.
I don't realize it yet.
Yeah, banana leopard Krypton. I don't know if you can see her head. Ugh.
Little head.
She's mad at me.
She's mad.
She's got like this. See that?
What?
Yeah.
Isn't that
Oh,
cool
I love
looking? And that's not poop. This is paradoxing on her tail. Isn't that weird?
It's gorgeous.
But I think that's just that snake's staying. I just like her.
Yeah.
But I like leopard in a lot of things. Like that's one thing that
banana dot.
Yeah, she's got banana dots coming out. She may get heavier dotting. I don't know because of that leopard popping out.
Yeah, y'all are absolutely right though. People that walk by, you can tell when they're new keepers or don't even have anything. They point at bananas every time.
And I'm like, you know what? If our
You've always got to sell bananas.
if our after product or byproduct is bananas, we're going to be fine. And so, and I think we both really like them anyway. And so it's not that big a deal for us to have extras laying around.
Well, plus bananas, you got to throw in the whole female maker thing.
Exactly.
And I'm very weirdly convinced that bananas produce more paradoxes than I've ever seen in any other gene.
Speaking of, I will show you. I'll touch this one, Josh.
Just from my experience and what I've seen. I've had one, and I thought that was the coolest thing. Ink Lady Morphs, like the first egg they cut open was Taboo, and he is one of the coolest paradox banana. Oh, wow, get out of town.
So she's banana, and we think that she's actually a paradox pied. She's got she's hit lavender also, but this was one that Tom was like, I want to see how she produces because he wants her. He gave her to us a few years ago. And so we'd already talked about how we were going to breed her. I was going to breed her to a visual pied to see if she produced all pied. If that her patterning, because her pattern, see if you look at her normal coming through, it almost looks like it's on a pied. But her banana's popping through where the pied was. I don't know. We don't know what's going on here.
She's amazing.
Isn't that crazy?
I stand behind what I said with the banana paradox.
I
stand behind what I damn said.
Yeah. And she's just crazy
cool.
looking. I mean, I know she's not going to reproduce herself, but I really would like to see, does she produce just pieds? We'll breed her to a dreamsicle and just see what she makes.
Cool.
She's staying there forever.
Oh yeah, she's not going anywhere. That was one of Tom's absolute favorite snakes. And the fact that he even gave it to us a couple of years ago, he's like, I need this rack space. And we're like, at that point, we didn't have that many snakes. And so we're like, why not? Let's have them. We also really, really like cypress.
Yes.
Look at the head on this thing. It is orange.
This is a cypress OD clown. Look at that head. I mean, it is orange. Like you see, it matches Josh's shirt, my fingernails.
We have a pattern that we follow.
Wow.
It's orange.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
It's
That
absolutely
is incredible, y'all.
beautiful snake. And
Jeez.
it's funny. The male that produced the cypress, and we've got several cypresses here. I feel like we had talked to somebody else about this recently. Like he produces more cypress than he doesn't. I'm like, how is that and why? Like when 75% of his clutch has cypress and he's the only cypress in it. It's not like we breed super cypress or anything like that. So, and he produces just absolutely beautiful ones also. And so he's getting ready to get me. He's mad.
Yeah.
All right, Josh.
You have really good lighting because all of your snakes are showing up so good.
Wow.
Yeah, good. Because Josh is like, I feel like I'm in this damn stage area here.
It's working.
That snake just
mad
throws me backwards.
People see puzzles all the time.
Wow.
Give me that.
I'm sorry. What did you just say? She just said people see puzzles all the time.
I feel like everybody shows puzzles on their little thingy, and I'm like, Josh, get the puzzle.
Josh, get the damn puzzle. Get the damn puzzle, Josh.
He should get them because they usually bite.
They're mean.
They are mean.
Bonus points if you get bitten on Show Us Your Rack. We send you to Mardi Gras. Oh, I love a puzzle.
It's a pastel puzzle, but there was OD in this, and I don't sit it next to his sister. His patterning is stretched out more, so I don't know if that's OD, and I have been very horrible about sending shed test off. So he will get shed tested to see if he's got OD in him.
Yeah, we need to do
I'd
that.
be willing to bet. I'd be willing to bet.
And when you sit him next to the rest of them, his tones are just different. And I'm like, I think he's OD. And if he is, he'll definitely stay and go in with like the pied hypo combo stuff and things like that too. We'll start blending that together.
Now we're going to go to high gear.
All right, actually get that one out. Give me the one right next to this one. That way I can kind of show. Yeah. So I mean, yeah. There's a lot of monarchs sitting around here. So
Nice.
So this is leopard monarch.
Oh, wow.
Very, very rich in color. And there's a leopard monarch subadult that is at the farm that is still almost the same tone as this. They just don't lose their color. And I think that's what draws us to this patterning and this coloration is it just holds. And so
it's like a wheat gold,
yeah,
and just a caramel browns.
Yeah. And so that's the leopard. Then here is a pastel leopard monarch het clown. And so the pastel and leopard actually do really well together. The contrast is amazing on this snake. Wow. He's got a cool head pattern. I think he's even cooler looking than his sister. He's definitely staying, and he is het clown. But then Tom did really good this year. He did not get to see this baby. He passed before it hatched. But can you get the Leo monarch right there?
Oh, that already pulled you.
Oh, he'll bite you too. Watch out.
All right.
Oh, I say he bites you, and then he's going to make me pull it out.
You got this.
So that's the leopard monarch clown.
I'm a believer in monarch, man. That is just so dark and rich.
Very much.
When we were getting into this, we were like, well, we want to get into the monarch stuff, but we're going to have to go ultra male because we just can't afford monarch. And Dad said, I'm going to change your mind. You're getting into monarch.
Yeah, we didn't have a choice.
We didn't have a choice.
And I mean, we still both love ultra male, but then as we've watched these guys grow up, there's a male. I'll probably do a post on him in the next week. They're huge. Monarchs are huge. He's about a 2,200 gram male, breeder male. And his colors are still just dark and rich and contrasty. Like they don't lose it.
Contrasty.
Contrast. That's a new word.
It is now.
It is.
Stick in my face.
You heard it here.
I once said a snake looked like a bottle of Yoo-hoo. Contrasty should be a thing.
You did.
I did. We were there.
We're making shirts.
It happened.
This is monarch G-stripe. And y'all know what G-stripe looks like, but look what monarch did to the G-stripe.
Yeah, I was like,
you get a little flip of stripe at the tail. That's it.
I think people don't realize that monarch can obliterate pattern in some things. And so what our plan is to put those leopard back into the G-stripe and see if we can bring the stripe back out into the monarch G-stripe. So that's a long-term project there.
Wow.
But now we're going to try to do hog nose. God help us.
How many eggs typically does do hognose lay? Like just a rough between this and this.
So I'd say 9 to 22. And I'd say
they eat 6.
Yeah, they may eat 6 of them. Just kidding. I'd say 80% of our girls double clutch. And so like one of our main girls this year, she had 16 her first clutch, and then 5 weeks later she had 16 again. So, I've heard of people saying that they triple clutch, but we haven't experienced that. We've only experienced double clutching. And I feel like ours on the second round don't have quite as many, but they may have bigger eggs. But I've heard people say, oh, ours have bigger ones on the second round. I'm like, I don't know. Did you put my gloves on?
Fresh gloves.
Okay. Grab the one that's right there. So we're going to show you one that we produced. I wish y'all could have seen that. He still jumps when they hiss at him. It's awesome.
They're so scary.
Josh, it's okay.
Look how scary that is, though.
Yeah, every time I feed a snake, Kurt laughs hysterically because every time I feed a snake, I jump.
Yeah.
Every time.
So
don't worry.
This one is a sable, and we'll come back to her in a little bit, but she's a lemon ghost sable. And so we're going to see over time what we notice when we start breeding lemon ghost into these guys, we start getting like almost green tones. And so we're hoping next year we'll be able to breed a lemon ghost het sable to our lemon ghost het sable and have some actually, they look like army green animals. And so you can put her up, Josh, because actually what I may do is grab a couple of things. Let me get Josh to grab something real quick. We're going to show you. So toffee belly is a recessive gene that is a type of T albinism, and it's actually probably the most appropriate named one out there because it actually has a toffee color belly. And so I'm going to show you one that is kind of a standard toffee belly. Some of them are kind of lighter, but we've actually added a gene into our toffee bellies. If you want to grab that one, yes, she will bite. That darkens it, so they get more orange. You're gonna have to pick her up. You can't do this.
Ow! You got me. You want to see it?
Oh,
man,
yeah. You're going to Mardi Gras.
Last day on Earth. Sorry.
Oh, I love.
I need Alicia's nails.
She will.
Well, and it's all fault for training them. Every time you open the door,
it's food.
So, yeah, you're not wrong. I think about that often.
You're gonna have to put this up underneath there. Okay, there you go. So that's kind of a standard toffee belly. There's nothing wrong with her, but she's a little washed out for us. And so we blend in toffee belly into something called shadow line, which is a polygenic trait that adds darkness.
My orange shirt is really screwing the coloration up, but it's
great.
Their bellies look like the inside of a toffee candy bar.
Yeah. So there's toffee belly.
See it? Yeah. Oh wow.
But then, do you see how much more orange? Now this one's got pattern obliteration too, but she's got darker oranges in her compared to the other toffee belly. So this is our line. This line is actually from Europe, but that one's coming from a different family.
She bites with an accent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
You're not a hognose breeder if you don't get bit. That's just part of it.
She bites with an accent. Oh god.
That could be another shirt.
A glove on.
Yeah.
There's more shirts.
Grab this axanthic right here.
Okay.
What is this purple line? I'm just playing around on your morph market, and
so purple line is it's another like family trait or line bred trait, and they're not purple. Okay, they're actually kind of maroon in person, but what it does is it adds saturation to the color. And so you put that in with like your albinos, your snows and stuff like that, and you get darker color, you get more saturation of color. And so we also use red line, and red line is another like gene trait. It's a polygenic family trait, and this is a red line albino. And a lot of times when you look at albinos, they're more yellow, and her mother looks just like this. She's a red line albino, and she's a 350 gram female that still has all her oranges, and so they don't lose their color. And why we care about this is when we start breeding our combinations, like we do axanthic. I know one of them squirted all over my
there's
computer.
scent all over her laptop now. So.
Oh well. But we also breed a lot of axanthic, and axanthics in hognose will stay gray. They do not brown out at all. And it's still a very popular gene in hognose I knew this was going to be hard to do.
It's okay. You guys are doing great. You tried really hard to get the other camera to work, which nobody else got to see, but they earn like every extra credit point.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It was a great concept.
Well,
great idea.
We knew these wiggle worms were coming, and so they're best on a flat surface. It's really hard to hold them. I wish we could show you the nose.
Yeah. But the axanthic, same as axanthic and ball pythons, you're going to peel out all the other color, and you're going to end up having a gray snake, and they will stay gray. And in snows, I know are not as popular. I mean, there's still people in ball pythons that breed snow, but but snow is extremely popular still in hognose. And so when you do the albino and the xanthic together, double recessive, you will get, pretty much a white and pink snake. The thing is, if you see how those saddles are visual here, if you get poorly bred albino, like you get the real pale albino, this thing almost blanches out. You can't even see the patterning. Where the more red or purple line you put in it, the more you're going to see that pattern alteration. And so contrast is a big deal with the hognose, and making sure that you can actually see that color pattern and color saturation. Josh, right down below that one that's open, get that Super Yeti out.
Oh, I was just about to say, you got any of these Super Yetis? Because this thing is gorgeous.
Yeah, we have, again, all our adults are in brumation. We've got some big old girls and a boy that's a Super Yeti. They're really cool. They're neat looking snakes.
I see their
just white
little face, and I'm just like, well, if they were a ball python, they would make it out of the egg.
Got their little shovel noses.
Yeah, that's my dad.
Man, and they use them too. The minute we walk in the room, you just hear scrapes. It's
digging around everywhere. Josh,
if I get her to see.
That is great. Oh, looky there.
Is that cute?
That's so cute.
I wish it would quit looking at me or the focus on me. Anyway.
I love.
And don't worry about showing the adults, because someday you'll have what Lace likes to call a follow-up exam. And you can
that'll work. We can do that.
We can figure out the double flip camera. My favorite part about a hognose is it looks like a very thirsty girl on Instagram. She's just like
the duck clips.
yeah. I love it. Hognose is so cute. I can't stand it.
This is a really kind of unusual looking snake. It's actually an Arctic sable. So sable's that brown gene. Yeah, we do work with it in hogs, although we really use sable as a recessive gene to add on to other genes to darken them. But she's interesting looking. She's an anaconda pattern, which is a incomplete dominant. And so you got two conda genes makes a super conda. That's where we lose all the pattern. But her patterning is divided and kind of, it's almost like it's twin spotted is what we call it. It's unusual to see that patterning. But what I wanted to show you is how their headpiece looks. Josh, can you hold the snake? Mm-hmm. I'm going to go get the other one. So that's a standard headpiece on a hognose. Like that's what most of them look like.
Is her belly all dark too? Is her belly like black? Oh my goodness.
That's so cool.
So for a while at the shows, we put mirrors underneath these guys so people could see the bellies. Then I got tired of lugging around an extra 20 pounds of mirror in each case.
Don't drop them. 7 years of bad luck, man.
Yeah, right? I was thinking the same thing.
I wish.
Look at that.
Beauties.
It's okay.
All right. So
you can still see how adorable it is.
A few years ago, we imported in some snakes from Switzerland, and they carry the gene called Swiss chocolate, which right now is probably, I guess, technically the highest end recessive gene in hognose.
This came from
and Josh, bring her back over real quick. If you look, when you compare a sable, everybody's like, oh, the sable and the Swiss are the same thing. And the guy bred he imported a sable from America into Switzerland, and he bred it to a Swiss. And of course, he got a bunch of normals. And so if you can see how her head pattern is, if you can appreciate the head pattern on the Swiss.
Oh, wow.
You see, it's like a helmet of just blackness.
Totally different. Yeah.
I don't know if I can get it.
And the one that Josh has, it kind of like, it stretches itself out. That is just completely dark.
Yeah. This thing is super dark. And we've got a couple of sub-adult females that are almost jet black. And so there is a darker gene. It is a different patterning. Oh, I don't know if you saw that.
You got shot.
I just got shot in the face by Glance.
Oh. That's a thing?
It's like a movie. It's like a movie set around here.
So like a thing. Like there was this male for the longest that I had on like a higher rack, and every time I opened his cage, he would sling his tail out and just splatter his scent all over me. I'm like, why do I have you on the upper cage? Well, he's at the bottom now because he's such a jerk. But the Swiss was kind of, it's excitement that we live in. Oh yeah, it's bad.
Yeah,
it's horrible. Let me show you one more thing.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, this is normal. Yeah.
I got bit. She got squirted. It's just a good old time at the Harbin hut.
Right.
Oh man.
Oh no. Oh my. I'm gonna get bit. All right.
Do it for the gram.
This is what I call our humdinger for the year. It's the North American first, and it's hard to really see her color in person. She's also anaconda, and she's the biggest spaz, but she's toffee belly Swiss chocolate anaconda. And so the only other we know some other breeders in Canada, and then Jeff Gallwood has these combinations, but they haven't produced one of these yet. So we were pretty excited that we got to produce one of these. And she's a ding dong, but she's a very powerful breeding female. It would have been awesome if she'd been a boy. I would have been even more excited about it, but we're pretty happy with her at this point. So
I can settle for a North American first.
Yeah, it's pretty
Right.
I love that.
So the dude who discovered the Swiss chocolate gene, man, he played the game to a T. Like he kept everything he had and paired it with everything that existed to prove what it would look like. So for 10 years, he sat on this gene and just proved out all the morphs, then started releasing them for sale.
Wow.
Actually, the story I heard is he had so many. Yeah. Well, I mean, he'll probably retire after this.
Oh, he's already retired.
Seriously.
This is another cool one. This is actually
I love
super Arctic Conda. So this is all just incomplete dominant genes. And so when you have an Arctic to an Arctic, you get a super Arctic. And Arctic is just kind of like a lightning gene. But when the super came out, it obliterated head pattern. It changed body pattern. And this has got anaconda on it too. And I'll show you real quick just a straight up super Arctic, because I think they're probably one of the prettiest snakes out there.
I know we blew right past your time. You can cut out where you need
We're
to.
having fun. Don't worry.
This is the most fun I've had in forever. I'm learning so much. Every show I learn so much, but like switching up the species, I love it. I love it.
Agreed.
Oh, I love.
So he's a super Arctic double het Swiss chocolate toffee belly.
His eyes are jet black.
Yeah, I mean they're as black
got
as
it
you
all.
can get. He's a very very cool patterning on this guy. Just super crisp. He's black and white in person. So I don't know what's going to happen when we put that with Swiss chocolate, because it's already a dark recessive gene. So we're having fun with these silly little things.
I don't think these webcams know what to do. I'm wearing neon orange. She's in neon pink, and we're trying to hold these little wiggle worms up.
Yeah.
It's been doing a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been doing great. You guys have been doing great too. My face hurts from smiling and also from being in shock at all of the cute little hognose snakes.
I know. I'm gonna buy one now. Damn it, and get squirted on.
Yeah, they'll squirt you. We'll end the thing with a really cool stranger calico yellow belly clown.
Wow.
Isn't she crazy? This is the meanest snake we have, but she can be mean. She's wicked, like copper color in person. I don't know. I like the snake. I know where she lives. Obviously, I just picked her right up. Like I pick her up all the time. You think she'd be nice by now, but
It's fun to have a collection that when you open the tub, you just stare at them for a minute.
Yeah.
You're not just, grabbing poop and doing water. Like you want to enjoy the animal. So I think if you can build a collection that makes you do that, who cares what the genes are?
Yeah.
As long as you get that satisfaction out of it, you're doing it right.
Yeah, definitely.
I love that. I agree.
She keeps
This has
turning
been
the
a
camera to
blast.
herself. There we go.
You guys have some nice racks.
Thank
Y'all
you.
got
Thank
a
you.
Really nice rack.
I know we yammered the whole time. Y'all have questions for us that we didn't answer?
We had so much
No.
fun listening to you guys and
Yeah.
seeing all your amazing stuff. Holy cow.
With y'all, we don't have to ask the questions. You answer before we even ask the questions, which I love it. I love it.
And my face literally, like, it is
I
in
do
pain
too.
from smiling so hard.
I know. I didn't think I'd love a cute little hognose so much. Now I'm
Yep.
obsessed with
Well, I
it.
mean, when you get to see people get bit, like, and one did get me through the glove. They're good little eaters. When they become good eaters, they're really good eaters. It's just,
I'm not even bleeding.
Nah.
It's not
I
that.
I was
mean,
about to say, what's a hognose bite like? It's like a baby ball python bite.
barely even that, because I bet those babies that we got plugged up, they probably don't have millimeter long rear fangs.
It's funny, they'll grab and kind of hold, then you'll feel the force where they
Crunch.
they were trying to like compress.
And you're like,
Yeah.
how?
They're like,
Right,
I'm
right.
What are
really
you
mad
doing?
at
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. And now getting plowed into by one of the big girls,
Mhm.
because they have a compression, because their whole point is to grab and compress and then envenomate their little whatever they're getting ready to eat. And when they clamp down, they crunch. Like, I've heard my tissue crunch and then blood pour out because they take down so hard. Then you got to pluck them off of you.
Thunk it.
We had some friends over. They wanted to see some snakes. And she's like, "Oh, I'll get this nut. It's never bitten anybody." Wham! And then when she peeled it off, just blood was gushing. I'm like, "Wow, you're indoctrinating these people to the hobby. They're going to probably buy something today."
Oh, well. She was hungry.
So, you want to take one home?
Yeah, you want one of these?
Yeah.
Well, one of the very first shows we helped Tom with, we had like 2 hognose at this point, and I think I just bought some more from him. And we were helping him, and we're behind. This is back before COVID, and we're behind the table. And I was covering the hognose because that's really kind of what I knew the most about, which was very little at the time. And he was covering ball python stuff, and they were down covering like horns and ball pythons. And so these people were like, "Oh, I really like this hognose." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll get it out for you and let you look at it." That thing just latched right onto me. Somehow, I don't even know how I knew what to do. I took my fingernail and just plucked it off. And I looked at the people, and they were just horrified. And Tom looked over at me. He's like, "Nice job." And I'm like, are you still interested in this hognose? Or like, "Oh my God, no." I'm like, "Oh, well." It was not a sell on my part.
I love it when people ask us, "Do they bite?" It's like everything on the planet with a mouth
If it
bites
has a
something.
mouth, it's gonna
Yeah.
bite. So
Where do
Anyway.
you
But-
bite? Probably.
yeah, it was not the best sell technique, but it was funny. It was funny. to go
Honestly,
through that.
if that's a deal breaker for somebody, they need to see that up
They
front.
don't need
I
it.
mean,
Yeah,
they need to know that potential's there, and if you can't handle it, walk away.
Yeah.
Yeah, you shouldn't have that animal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I mean, hey, you bought a kitten once. I guarantee you that bait too. Your puppy. I mean,
Scratch you
everything.
up.
bites.
Yeah, that's what these are. Yeah, that's from
a
the cat.
bite.
That's from the cat.
Yeah.
I'd rather get bit by a snake all day long than a cat.
Way-
Yes.
Totally.
Yeah.
So for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, Josh and Alicia, you guys are awesome.
Thank
you
you.
you.
are doing amazing things, and your knowledge of the species that you keep and your passion for them
Oh my God.
is phenomenal. Like,
Thank you.
this hour flew by so fast, and I can't wait for the follow-up. And
Yeah.
now you're going to be getting messages from me all the time in your
That's
Instagram
cool.
chat. So.
It will, well, we hopefully when we do our follow up, we'll be in the new building, and then we'll
Yeah.
actually have things out, that we could show you, like some of the adults and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun.
We
What's
can't
y'all's
wait.
timeline on the building? I'm sure that's got you busy on top of
Yeah.
everything
So it's
else
kind
going on.
The longest part has just been getting the plans
Paperwork.
together. I literally just got
Jeez.
blueprints 2 days ago, and I went back in my emails, and the first inquiry was back in July of
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah,
Just
this
a
year.
price
Yeah,
check.
yeah.
So
Well, I mean, after Tom passed away is when we started kind of looking, because we're like, we can't do this forever. We probably didn't get super serious about it until like September.
yeah.
And then we're like, okay, we've got to get this going. And back even when we started with that, it was like, oh, we should be able to break ground in November. And I'm like, okay, it's December. We haven't broke ground. And so they're going to start digging. And then they're hoping once they get kind of it graded out, which luckily is not a huge amount of grading, early next year, they'll bring building supplies in. So we're hoping by the middle of summer, we'll have something functioning.
Fingers crossed for you.
That's huge.
Wait, and we had to kind of go with the generic building because you can't just go to any building and say, "Yeah, I need a snake barn. What do you got in stock?" They don't know what you want.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And we
No,
wanted to make
that-
sure we had divisions for the rodents and for the hogs and for the balls. And so we've got areas, and we're going to have like a desk area. I mean, an office area.
And
so-
rodent
yeah.
room.
Yeah. Shipping area.
I've never been so envious of a fan in my life, but we went down to Canova's facility, and I said, "Man, I want to see the facility. I'm not here to see snakes." And he showed me the rat room, and I was like instantly jealous. I'm like, he's got a killer setup for his
Yeah.
rodents. So
Yeah.
we're gonna borrow from a lot of his design aspects on
Yeah,
that.
he's got it figured out because I mean he lives south of us, so they deal with even more heat than we deal with. And he's like, we don't have ACs in there; it's all fan based. We're like, what? You know, and I just didn't understand it until we got down there.
He cranked the fans open, and it was like a wind tunnel.
It really was because we were so far away. He's like, okay, give it just a few seconds, and we're just standing there like three idiots. Like, and all of a sudden, like the wind hits us. We're like, holy crap, that is wind.
It was awesome.
But no, I mean, he gave us a lot of good pointers on what he would do differently, which was very little, and the layout, and kind of helped us regroup mentally of like, oh, we need to focus more on 365 days out of the year. What are we going to need this building to do for us? And that was pivotal for us to kind of revamp our plans.
Yep.
So
good people in this
like
hobby.
all the fan, yes, amen to that. Is the fan, is it like more for ventilation reasons?
Yeah. It's actually very similar to a chicken barn where you would have intake fans and then exhaust ports, or vice versa, depending if you want to push or pull. And it's on a timer or a thermostat or both, depending on how you want to do it. So, I mean, rodents stink. There's no way around it. So you just got to get that air out of there.
Yeah. And he did. Absolutely. I mean, that's essentially what it was there. Like one fan was pushing in, the other fan was pulling out, and it just made this huge circulation. Of course, even in the snake areas, he's got those literally called big ass fans, and they're huge fans that circulate the air within the snake rooms. And so that makes a lot of sense too. Like, I don't feel like we have enough circulation in here. And that's one thing we're going to make sure we implement in the building is more circulation of air. So,
yeah.
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Follow up coming summer, hopefully.
Yes.
We'll do it. We'll do some kind of grand opening, I guess. I think it'd be fun to show people what we figured out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll need help moving racks in. That's going to be our grand opening. Is the party?
There you go.
A work party.
Like if we had like two like 3070s, you know, like, and then like two of these like whatever these 60 things are, 1060s or whatever they are, and like people like have teams and they build them up together and see who wins.
Rack race.
There you go.
When we bought my house, I literally did the same exact thing. I called a bunch of close friends and I said, hey, come over. It's a housewarming. And then they showed up and I said, surprise, bitch, put together that cabinet.
Yeah, put that together. Let's go paint.
Yep.
I think that y'all should do that. It's like, oh, it's the big Herpin Harbins.
Yeah, it's a big year.
Grand opening. By the way, grab a rack on your way in. I'll tell you where to put it.
Yeah. Grab some tubs.
Yep. I mean, we'll have a grill out. We'll have some food to eat.
We'll feed
you know, have some drinks and, you know, maybe some beers and whatever people could have, and we'll build it together. See what happens.
That sounds like a great time.
I love that. I can't think of anything more fun. I'm very, very, very excited for y'all.
Yeah.
That could become a thing, like just reptile keepers just showing up for like a barn raising, but it's like a rack raising.
Yeah,
I love it.
Absolutely. Y'all are making
You'd
it
have to come.
Yeah, definitely. We'll let you know when it happens.
Send us.
We've got an airport 5 minutes down the road from us, so it's not hard to fly in here.
Fly in.
Nice. Even better. Easy travel.
They've got a FedEx hub there too, so we drop off snakes and then hit the Waffle House, and we're home in 30 minutes.
Even better.
I love a good Waffle House trip.
Oh yeah.
Well, we can't wait for the follow-up exam.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And to see all the great things that you guys are doing, and we appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
Well, thanks for having us. Appreciate it. And anybody watching, we're still in it, guys. Please go vote for us.
Yeah. 15 minutes of lame. Y'all are making hilarious content, and I cannot wait. Y'all are already winners in my heart.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Y'all are doing great.